Hi, I'm John Georges, Master Distiller with Angostura Limited. I've been with Angostura for the better part of 30 years, responsible for fermenting, distilling, and aging our rums. Today, I want to tell you about Angostura's 7-year-old rum, a great example of an exquisite rum from Trinidad. So what is true Trinidadian rum? To be a Trinidadian rum, the spirit must come from cane sugar fermented and distilled in Trinidad. All our rums start from molasses, which is mostly cane sugar. Since the cane sugar industry in Trinidad ended in the 80s, Trinidad no longer produces molasses. So Angostura now imports high-quality molasses from places like the Dominican Republic, Fiji, and Central America. High-quality molasses is the start to more effective fermentation. Good molasses leads to healthy yeast cells, which in turn promotes the relatively quick, efficient fermentation necessary to produce a high-quality raw alcohol. And what makes it Angostura rum? Angostura rum begins with the yeast that we use for fermentation. We propagate our own yeast strains for fermentation and monitor our yeast very carefully. Yeast propagation is promoted in the presence of oxygen. The yeast converts the sugar into carbon dioxide and water with the release of energy. We propagate our yeast in sanitized dilute molasses solution. Yeast propagation is also enhanced by the presence of nutrients, vitamins and minerals, some of which it gets from the molasses itself. The rest we supply in the form of a nitrogen-based fertilizer. We grow our yeast in stages to ensure a high initial concentration of healthy yeast cells for fermentation. The higher this concentration, the faster the fermentation proceeds, therefore ensuring a more efficient utilization of the sugars. After the final propagation stage, the concentrated mass of yeast cells are transferred to our stainless steel fermenters, which contain a molasses-water mixture and added nutrients. The media for fermentation contains a higher percentage of sugars, molasses, than that for propagation. Our fermenters are closed vessels, non-aerated, to promote the production of alcohol, but they are vented to allow the carbon dioxide which is produced to escape. At the end of the fermentation process, we're left with a wash or wine that is between 7 and 9% alcohol and contains not only alcohol, but also the byproducts of the fermentation called congeners, which give our rum a unique start. The next stage in our rum making process is distillation. We distill the wash to concentrate the alcohol and refine the congeners. We do this in a continuous still consisting of 5 multi-tray columns. We make a heavy rum between 80 and 85% alcohol, which contains a relatively high level of congeners, which on aging develop complex aromas and flavors. We further distill the liquid to produce a light rum, about 95% alcohol. Our light rums have retained just enough of the congeners that leaves a fresh, clean spirit. To create a truly great rum, the spirits must be aged. We store the rum distillates, both light and heavy, in stainless steel tanks prior to aging in wooden barrels, oak barrels. We select only the highest quality, once used bourbon barrels for our rums. The distillates are diluted with treated water to a predetermined alcohol level, between 60 and 70% alcohol, and filled into the 45-gallon oak barrels. The barrels are then sent to the warehouse for aging. During aging, changes take place in the congeneric quality of the rum, which result in improved flavor. The liquid acquires a golden hue from the barrels, and the quality of the rum is enhanced over time by the oak wood. The interaction of the liquid and the oak as the rum ages leads to more mellow, well-balanced rum and a smoothness that is characteristic of Trinidadian blended rums. While aging in oak barrels, the liquid generates esters, acids, aldehydes, ketones, and phenols. Ethyl hexanate is the most abundant, which gives rise to fruity, apple-like notes. Certain wood phenolics, notably vanillin, syringaldehyde, and oak lactones, come from the wood. The oaky and woody characteristics found in the Angostura 7-year-old rum are linked to aldehydes and ketones, which are produced naturally during aging. And now, the art of blending. Blending rum is an art only acquired after years of experience. Our blenders have been trained in this craft by master blenders from both our Sigurd and Fernandez heritages. They are skilled experts who have developed closely guarded formulas and techniques. With heartfelt dedication and scientific precision, they blend the rums to perfection. The blenders meticulously select mature, high-quality aged rums, each with its own flavor and characteristic. The rums are selected with great skill, each rum making a contribution to the finished blend without anyone dominating. The blenders have exceeded expectation with this 7-year-old blend and produced a rum with definite and recognizable character. Since the blend should never vary from this standard, our blenders continue to maintain the consistency which our customers have grown to expect. Let's look at the package. An ergonomically designed bottle with a black 2-part label highlighted by our signature butterfly motif. Why the butterfly? Historically, when we cultivated sugarcane in Trinidad, the farmers always knew when the crop was ready to be harvested by looking out for the beautiful butterflies. The butterflies would hover over the tops of the sugarcane arrow, a sign that the cane was ripe and ready. The rum is marked as 7 years, as the youngest rum in the blend is 7 years old. After 7 years, the rums have a flavor and aroma that are exquisite. The color is a dark, rich hue of deep mahogany. The aroma, an enticing bouquet of creamy vanilla, chocolate, molasses, coffee, and oak. This medium body rum is packed with toasty flavors of chocolate, honey, coffee, and roasted nuts. The flavors linger on the palate and eventually taper off with a hint of molasses, rich cinnamon, and spice.